Hey guys, Paul here, the Impulsive Culinarian, and in this video I want to talk to you about my barbecued fajitas recipe. Welcome to the finale! Part 5 of the barbecue series is finally here. I haven't been looking forward to the end of my barbecue series. Oh, I'm going to be sad when it's over. But guys, it is one of the best and simplest recipes out of the entire series. I hope you're going to enjoy this. We're doing barbecued chicken fajitas. We can do vegetarian as well if you just omit the chicken. There's some delicious vegetables in here, some peppers, some Spanish onions, and we're going to do a whole mess of homemade accoutrements to go along with these fajitas. Namely, we're going to do some homemade salsa fresca with big, beautiful beefsteak red tomatoes that I got from the farmer's market. Thank you very much. Some homemade guacamole, really good, an authentic guacamole with a little bit of bite to it. And we're going to marinate the chicken. The thing is, last week when I did the test recipe for this, I found some beautiful, huge chicken breasts. This week, they're tiny. I mean, they're not that tiny. It's just that they're smaller than I was hoping for. So the recipe calls for 2. I think I'm going to go with a weight measurement because I got 4 small guys instead, and we're going to go with that. Whatever size chicken you find, I'll give you the weight and the rest in the ingredients list shortly. And also, as far as fajitas, okay, you want to wrap those in some soft tortilla shells. I have yet to be able to create on my own anything that rivals these Udi's soft, plain tortillas. That's not a paid endorsement. I'm getting nothing to tell you this. It's just that this is the best. I promise you. If you can make better or almost as good, you go for it. I definitely support that. But that's what we're going to be using in this recipe. Okay, so here are the ingredients you're going to need. So we're going to split this out into 4 different groups, guys. The first one, we're talking about some salsa fresca. The ingredients for that are 2 large beefsteak tomatoes, the biggest ones you can find. We're going to peel them, seed them, and chop them. 1 shallot finely chopped. Half of a big jalapeno pepper finely chopped. 1 small garlic clove, which you're going to mince. 1/3 of a cup of chopped fresh coriander or cilantro. The juice of 1 lime. And half a teaspoon of kosher salt. That makes a really mean salsa fresca. For the homemade guacamole ingredients, get yourself 3 large ripe avocados, the juice of 1 lime, 1 large tomato, another beefsteak, peeled, seeded in small dice, 1 shallot finely chopped, 1 garlic clove finely chopped, another 1/3 of a cup of fresh coriander, which you're going to chop up, half a teaspoon of kosher salt, and some freshly ground black pepper. All right, now for the chicken marinade ingredients, you're going to want to get yourself 2 large chicken breasts would have been perfect, but it equates in weight to around 1.5 pounds of chicken. So act accordingly, get what you can, and try your best, guys, to go organic. It definitely is good for the planet. Zest and juice of 1 lime, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 2 garlic cloves, which you're going to slice, 1 tablespoon of chopped fresh oregano, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and a half a teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. That's a marinade. Now, fajita ingredients. We're going to put in a whole bunch of standard vegetables that you would normally see in a fajita. We're going to get 1 red pepper, 1 orange pepper. Let's throw in a yellow one for good luck, and a green pepper as well. 1 large Spanish onion. If you can't find a big one, get a couple of medium-sized ones. 3 ounces of dairy-free white cheese, which we're going to finely grate, and 3 ounces of dairy-free orange cheese, which we're also going to finely grate. And last but not least, those infamous Udi's gluten-free soft tortilla shells, or the next best equivalent that you can find. I am salivating thinking about the end result. I can't wait to chow down on these beautiful barbecued fajitas. Let's get cooking. Part 5 of my barbecue recipe series is finally here. I don't know, it's bittersweet. I'm really excited about what's to come, but I'm going to miss barbecuing every single week for you guys. Maybe I'll have to incorporate barbecue into the next series that's coming up, which I'll tell you about another time. Look at this incredible variety of freshness. Does it show I've been to the farmer's market? This has nothing to do with this recipe, but scapes. I found these today. Man, it's been a while since I had those. Going to have to develop something to go with those. So we got some colored peppers, we got some Spanish onions, fresh lemons and limes. But the first thing that we need to do is we need to take our 1.5 pounds of chicken breasts and we're gonna flatten them out. Because when we do these on the barbecue grill, we don't wanna spend a lot of time, getting them dried out. We're gonna marinate them, give them lots of flavor and juiciness. And then, when they're nice and flat, they cook super fast. So get something big, like a rolling pin. And get a big piece of plastic wrap like this. Lay it down on your counter and start pounding some chicken. All right, so as you're flattening out these chicken breasts, guys, transfer them over to a Pyrex or casserole dish, something non-reactive, no plastic, okay? And just lay them in there, ready to receive the rest of the marinade ingredients when you're ready. All right, so once you've got your chicken all flattened out, you want them nice and thin so that they're gonna grill equally when you get them on the barbecue, right? So that it's not like a thick part and a thin part. That's the whole point. Now you're gonna get the rest of the marinated ingredients into this casserole or Pyrex container. Let's go, zest a lime. Zester, one of the best tools in your kitchen. If you don't have one, you gotta get one. And when you're done zesting it, juice it, get everything out. Into the chicken it goes. Okay, so there's no need using your good olive oil. It's going into raw chicken. So just a tablespoon of regular olive oil. And then you want to get all the rest of those marinated ingredients into the container. Herbs from the garden. Yes! Finally! All right, there we go. All the ingredients for this marinade are in with the chicken. All we got to do now is get our hands dirty and mix it up. Okay, so once you're all cleaned up, cover up that container, make sure it's nice and airtight, get it into the fridge, and let it chill while you're preparing the rest of your fresh stuff. All right, let's make some salsa fresca. I love this stuff. I actually dream about it. It's true. So you're going to get 2 really big beefsteak tomatoes, chop them up, seed them, and peel them. So not too finely chopped, guys. You want to leave that salsa fresca with a little bit of chunk to it with those nice fresh tomatoes. All right, let's get the rest of the ingredients in there. Shallot, finely chopped. All right, so I know I said half of a jalapeno. It depends on a jalapeno. If you got a little guy like this, use the whole thing. If you get a nice big one like this, maybe you want to split it in half. So it's all proportionate. All right, so get yourself a good bunch of fresh coriander to make around 1/3 cup when it's chopped up. Juice a lime. Listen, guys, my apologies in advance, but if you're having a fajita fiesta without salsa fresca, I am not coming. Just letting you know. All right, mix up that beautiful salsa fresca and then put it in a clean serving bowl, set it aside, move on to the next one. Next, we're making some fresh guacamole. Let's get on it. Peel some avocados. All right, once you've got those avocados peeled and you've removed the seed, get them into a shallow bowl and smash them up with a big fork. All right, there's 3 mashed up avocados. Let's add some lime juice to prevent it from turning brown. Juice another lime, come on. All right, so get that lime juice into the avocados right away and don't waste any time. Stir them right off the bat. That'll prevent them from turning brown and stay nice and fresh while you're preparing the rest of your guacamole. 1 large tomato, chop, seed, peel, pop it in. All right, go ahead and get the rest of the guacamole ingredients into the bowl. Fresh guacamole. Mix that up. Put it in a bowl and set it aside. So now we're finally getting the business of getting our grilling ingredients ready. Stuff that's going to go on the barbecue. If this is going to be a true fajita fiesta, we're going to stick to the traditional peppers and onions. So we're going all colors. We're doing red, orange, yellow, and green. And we're going to get a couple of Spanish onions. So that is the bulk of the ingredients that go in the middle. And if you want to stay vegetarian, that's your fajita. A little bit of guacamole on top. But don't forget, we got some chicken marinating in the fridge. Yes. So if you haven't seen any of my other videos where I broil peppers in the oven, I basically slice off the top, slice off the bottom, and then I shave off the 4 sides and it leaves the core ready to go into the compost and beautiful flat pieces to put on the grill. There's a beautiful plate of peppers. Next, let's do the onions. So the onions, I want them to be able to stay intact while they're on the barbecue. So I'm going to make some fairly thick slices. I'm going to say 1/2 inch thick, and I'm just going to drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, grill them like that, and then when it's all done, I take these peppers and onions and chop them up into fajita-friendly pieces. All right, so our vegetable ingredients are coming along nicely. There's our 4 colored peppers, all sliced up into flat pieces, ready for the grill. And there are our 2 medium-sized Spanish onions. Listen, you can never have too many barbecue grilled onions, so add on as many as you like. But you can see I've got them in a nice 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch cut. I'm going to drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil, season them up, salt and pepper. All right, leave the guacamole and the salsa fresca up here. Get the rest of this stuff down to the barbecue. Let's warm up the queue. All right, so if you've ever been to one of those popular sort of Mexican style fajita restaurants, they often serve up that good finished product in a cast iron skillet. So listen, if we're going to be traditional, and I happen to have a little side burner on my kick-ass barbecue, so I'm going to keep this cast iron pan at the ready, and when things are starting to get, almost finished, I'm going to hit that on low and put all of my finished product in the cast iron skillet. Come on! All right, so once that grill gets nice and hot, probably somewhere in the 500s, that's when you want to bring things back down to medium high. And we're going to start with the peppers. We're going to get them on the hot spots, skinned down so they can start to char, but not blacken. All right, let's close the lid and cook some peppers. So in last week's barbecue recipe episode, I talked about hot spots and cool spots in the barbecue. So you can see that I've lined up my peppers in between the diffusers where the flame is coming up directly and cooking the food. So what I'm going to do with the onions is I'm going to take advantage of those cool spots over the diffusers and start cooking those as well. So after around 3 minutes of those peppers being skin side down over medium-high heat, they're going to start to blacken and char. That is when you want to flip them over onto the non-skin side. So get some tongs. All right, so after 3 minutes, I've flipped those peppers over, and look at that. That's exactly what you want. They've got beautiful char, black marks from the grill, but they're not burnt. And now we're going to cook them for all around the same time on the other side, and those peppers are going to be beautifully roasted. In the meantime, over my diffusers, the cool spots, those onions are going to go for around 6 or 7 minutes per side. All right, so depending on how strong the flame is, after 2 minutes per side, you want to check those peppers to make sure they're not burning. And when they're starting to look ready, get them off the grill onto a chopping block and start making some beautiful fajita-friendly slices. So once you've got all of those cooked peppers off the grill and you're about ready to start chopping, leave those onions on, but don't put them over the direct heat. Keep them under that indirect sort of cool spot over each diffuser, because that's going to allow the onions to slowly get their char marks and to cook all the way through and get super nice and sweet. Let them cook. Chop up the peppers. There's a beautiful bunch of grilled peppers, if I do say so myself. So we're going to get those into our nice and warm cast iron skillet. Keep them hot. So by putting a lid on this, it's going to keep that moisture in. It's going to sort of self-humidify, and it won't stick to the bottom of the cast iron pan. All right, time to check on those onions. Flip them over. They're looking great. We got tiny char marks in the bottom of the onions, and they're starting to cook through without burning. That's the importance of putting them over the diffusers, those cool spots. So let's carefully flip them over so they don't fall apart. That's some beautiful looking onions right there, guys. We got some that are a little bit more charred than others, but inside are going to be that soft, sweet onion texture. They're going to go great with our fajita extravaganza. So while we're cooking the peppers and the onions and getting ready to cook that chicken, I've had the Udi's soft tortillas out here with me at the barbecue, just sort of thawing out so they're nice and pliable. And by the time I'm ready to cook them on the grill, they're going to be easy to separate from one another. So don't leave them in the freezer. You're just asking for trouble. All right, it's been almost 5 minutes on the second side of those onions. Let's have a look before we get ready for chicken time. Grill marks, soft in the middle. Beautiful. Guys, I wish you could taste this. These onions are just so sweet. The beautiful char marks are really nice, but most of the onion inside is just sweet and cooked. The way I'm cutting these, I'm just basically doing 1, 2, so that we have these nice long pieces, some short ones in the middle, Fantastic. Chop them up. All right, let's get those chopped onions into the cast iron skillet. So guys, now is the moment of truth. It's time to cook up those chicken breasts that have been marinating in the fridge while you're making your salsa fresca and your guacamole and all that good stuff. So you want to get the grill over the highest possible heat. We're going to be using those hot spots, which are in between the diffusers. Not the ones that are covered by a piece of metal, but where the flame is actually coming up. That's where you want to cook your chicken for 2.5 minutes per side. All right? So just to be sure, you want it over the hot spots, not the cool spots. So you know your grill is ready when you've got that temperature gauge is up into the 500, 600 degree mark. Now's the time. Hit the grill on the hot spots with your flattened, marinated chicken breast. Talk on flipping chicken after 2 minutes, but look at those beautiful grill marks. 2.5 minutes over the hot spot on high heat. This is going to be fantastic. 2.5 minutes to the second. Let's get those chicken breasts off onto a serving plate and get ready for soft tortillas. Well, that's what I came here for. Chicken fajitas, anybody? Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so don't forget your cast iron skillet. Now that you've had things toasting up in there and it's really hot, you might want to turn that off because it's going to take a couple of minutes to cook your tortillas. You don't want to burn the vegetables that you've been working so hard to cook up. So guys, you know what? Udi doesn't need any help getting some promotion for their product, okay? But I have yet to find better than these beautiful soft shell tacos. These tortillas are wonderful. It's an excellent product. A little bit pricey, and that irks me, so that's a challenge I'm willing to accept. Maybe I'm going to have to find a recipe to try and rival this. But in the meantime, normally the way you prepare these is you get them into dry skillets over medium-low heat just until they start to get a little bit of browning and you flip them over. So we're going to do this on the grill instead. So get ready with your metal spatula so you can sort of quickly scrape them off, and we're going to put them over the low heat on these hot grills. You can leave the lid open for this because you want to watch. As soon as you see some smoke, that's it. Around a minute, flip them over. All right, once they start to puff up and bubble, minute per side max, guys, get them off, put them on a serving plate. Look at that. Beautiful grill marks. That's what you're looking for. BBQ Fajita. All right, tortillas are done. Close up the barbecue. Get back to the kitchen. Got a lot of people waiting for fajitas, especially these jokers. What? Who wants fajitas? Anybody?
Me.
Yeah, you? Introduce yourselves. A lot of people haven't seen you before.
My name is Cassidy.
And you are?
Samantha.
All right, so we're going to assemble these fajitas and put in some ingredients and have some supper, right?
Yeah. Right.
All right, go have a seat. Well, it's time to assemble some fajitas. There we got some barbecue grilled tortillas, some homemade guacamole, salsa fresca, 2 kinds of cheese, dairy-free, of course, orange and white. It's not really traditional, but, you know, everybody does it. The vegetarian skillet, full of beautiful grilled onions and peppers. Some incredibly marinated chicken. Yeah, I think it's going to be tasty. What do you think, girls? Shall we do some fajitas?
Yes, but I want a pepper.
Okay, coming right up. All right, so guys, these tasty ingredients, chop up your chicken, make sure that everything goes in the fajita, and then top them up with some guacamole and some homemade salsa fresca. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. My name is Paul, the Impulsive Culinarian. That's right, exactly. And like the video. Okay, like everything that I do, basically. Guys, join me every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're opening up a brand new bottle of wine right here live in the Impulsive Culinarian kitchen for Wine's Day. I'd love to see you. I'll see you in the next video.